Jai Hind everyone. I am Govin, the podcast moderator for the day, and I welcome you to Vox Populi, the voices of the people. And today, the guest we have with us is Master Amitaanshu Midha, Alumni Sunbeam English School Bhagwanpur 2022-23. Hi Bhaiya. So Bhaiya, how are you doing? How's life?
I just came from a bike ride that was very annoying because of the roads of Varanasi, as it is evident. After spending 3 years outside, like in a city like Bangalore, you get pretty used to having better traffic and a better weather. So it was very sunny. So I feel like I'm still a bit dizzy.
Okay, so you define a better traffic. I mean, what's that better traffic in Bangalore? What's making the difference?
The roads here are pretty much the streets of Bangalore. So there's a very vast difference in the size of the roads and the quality of the drivers, if I might say, because the population difference is certainly there. But yeah, overall, a better city, mostly in terms of the weather, because it's very sunny out here. It's a lot windy there, a lot of rain in that sense.
Okay, so how you're feeling after coming back to school after 2 general years, or perhaps getting away from school for the time span of 2 years? So how the journey has been for you?
I mean, it has been 3 years since I passed and a lot has changed. Not just the infrastructure, but like the teachers and everything. They look the same and I'm really glad for that because I feel like it has not been a lot of time since I passed, but there have been some changes. Coming back to school certainly feels nostalgic, but then on the same hand, it's also a very homely feeling because it's almost the same school that I came back to. I studied here since PG to 12th. If you didn't know, it's a total of 15 years.
Yeah, so that's a huge journey.
I technically spent my entire life here from since the time that I was a kid. So it has been a great learning curve, if I might say, after I left school as well. So it feels good to come back.
Okay, so you have had a long journey in Sunbeam Bhagwanpur campus. So what's that one memory that you hold closest to your heart?
There's a lot of things that people from my batch might say from the original assembly ground that we had that got turned
the
into
old
the bus
one,
parking
right?
lot. Yeah. From that to the old canteens that we had to the old basketball court that we had that now stands at Symphony. There's been a lot of memories, but I think that one that I hold closest to my heart has to be that assembly ground because I have memories of at least falling 3-4 times every year in that ground while playing Baraf Pani or something like that, scratching my knees, getting hit on the head. But yeah, those are some good memories in that ground.
Okay, so Bhaiya, today you are somewhere in your college life and you are going to pursue your masters in some college. So this 15 years of journey that you have spent in Sunbeam Bhagwanpur campus, so what is the gentle learning that you take? I mean, how Sunbeam has shaped your entire personal opinion in terms of interacting with the audience that you see in front of yourself today? I mean, what's that change?
I mean, in Sunbeam, I was involved in a lot of holistic activities as well, such as debating, quizzing, etc. And I believe that this shaped me very greatly as a person because I pursued my bachelor's from Christ University, which is in Bangalore. It's a very well-reputed private college. So going into a course like English, especially with the department there being of English and Cultural Studies, so you have to be very open-minded when going into something like that because it introduces a lot of new things to you, such as you have to understand gender and all the things associated with it. You have to understand about caste and marginality, Indian literature. There's a lot of things like that, things that you don't really learn in other places. So you have to go there with a very open mind so as to not be overwhelmed by the things that come your way. So I feel like Sunbeam has really shaped my mind in a way that opens me up to experiencing new things, learning new things, and those sort of things. Because Sunbeam offers you lots of opportunities to go into different fields, to experience different things. And I believe they help you a lot along the way. And I feel like they will continue to help me as I continue to grow in life.
Okay. So Bhaiya, if I say, as you said, that it continues to grow, or your values that Sunbeam has shaped and someone as a personality whom you are outside the campus now. So when we put down a comparative difference or comparative analysis between the Amitaanshu Midha we see today and the Amitaanshu Midha that was in junior school, so what's the difference?
I mean, the main difference that you'll see in the Amitaanshu Midha in junior school and the one today is that he has a beard. He has lost some weight. He's gained a bit of height, not much. But yeah, the major differences are that he's now a bit more extroverted, can talk to more people, came to this podcast as an example. But yeah, there's quite a few. Mostly it has been the journey of not being someone who's completely oriented towards academics, in my definition of academics, like towards just pursuing studies, but trying more experiences as well, going into other activities, co-curricular activities and such.
Okay. So, Bhaiya, there's a small experience. I mean, the teachers shared this to me, and they were quite affirmative in nature that, okay, you have to ask this question. So, they said that your mind didn't work without eating. So, is that true? I mean,
I have actually heard that rumor. Actually, my little sister is in the school as well. So
yes.
I've heard that rumor that someone has been spreading this rumor around. I don't know who it is. I won't be taking any names. But there's this rumor going around that I don't work without food. It's quite the opposite, in fact. I work, and in the small break that I get, I tend to go for food because I have self-diagnosed ADHD, if I might say. I can't sit around doing nothing. I have to do something. And food was the one thing that I can turn to. Because in school, you're not allowed to bring phones and stuff. So there's the canteen, there's food. Just go and have some samosas or something.
But still, I think there are some sports teachers who are excavated there to curtail you buying samosas from canteen.
Not really, because the sports teachers are all well versed with me. I was involved in like 3 or 4 sports where I competed at some level. So the sports teachers are all very well versed with me, and they were more than encouraging to offer me samosas. In fact,
Okay. So, Bhaiya, when we talk about literature as a field today, since you are pursuing your you have pursued your bachelor's from English as as a career field specific, and you are going for your master's. So, when we talk about literature today as a subject or English as a subject today, then it's a criteria where people don't have much of their definitions into. So, how do you define literature for the students or the audience that we have today?
so the basic terms that I would define literature is in that it's basically a very vast field that shapes your opinions, that shapes your identity. It helps offer you a holistic view of the world, because there's a lot of literature out there. Like there's British literature, American literature, Indian literature. There's basically every type of literature that you can experience, and every type of literature offers a different field for you to jump into. In terms of opportunities, there are a lot for research scholars and other stuff. But pursuing my bachelor's in English, I realized that the major fields that literature offers to you is the exploration of language itself, because linguistics, translation, all this stuff, this is not very explored. Like there's a lot of research going on based on these subjects, but there's still a lot left to explore. Language shapes people's opinions, people's thoughts. Even like when you think something in your head, it originates in Hindi, right?
Absolutely.
Like when I'm speaking right now, there's already a process of translation going on in my head, where I'm converting my Hindi thoughts into English and then putting them out. So that's how much literature shapes you, because language is the essence of everything.
Absolutely, Bhaiya. But, Bhaiya, if you see English as a subject orientation for people to pursue it as their bachelor's and master's, then it is a subject that is still seen as a taboo subject in the society as whole. So, what do you perceive? Like, how do you see it? It is an objective field, or is it a field that requires a lot of struggle?
It is a field that requires a lot of struggle, because I won't lie here, English as a professional career, choosing it as a bachelor's or a master's to go into professionally as a career, it can be very challenging, because there are not a lot of job opportunities in that field, like a vast plethora of opportunities in that field, or specific corporates that hire you for that. Like people end up going for content writing or something after doing their bachelor's. Some people end up switching fields to journalism or political science or stuff like that. But one thing that English does offer you here, as I talked about translation, because there's a lot of research scholars that pursue translation and linguistics as a full-time profession, and I can guarantee you it's very, very rewarding. Linguistics as a profession is very rewarding,
Absolutely.
and it's something that a lot of people look for. Apart from that, viewing English as a taboo subject is again a thing of the present. I won't even say thing of the past, because in the past, literature used to be the one thing that people
Absolutely.
would want to pursue.
Absolutely.
Like if you go back to the 1800s, 1900s, literature ranked above science in some aspects, because there were literature societies before there were science societies. So it was the foundation of society in itself.
Okay, so when we talk about the origination of society, then, Bhaiya, coming back to the campus today, what is the definite change that you see or observe in the students right now? Are they critically ready to face the world?
I haven't interacted with a lot of my juniors, but the ones that I have with, I feel like they are on the right path, yes, to critically interact with the world. But again, as I said, I haven't have a lot of interactions. But one thing that I feel like they are still lacking is the way um, that they open themselves up, because they like as I said, I haven't interacted with a lot of them, so I don't want to put on any wrong points if I might say, because I don't know them personally, so I don't know how their personalities have been
Yes.
growing up. So their personalities definitely do change, do shape themselves as well. But I feel like over the years, like they're still in 8th 9th, the people that I've interacted with, so over the next 3-4 years in 10th 11th is where people really grow. So they do have a lot of room for improvement in terms of their interactions with people, if I might say. They're very, very good, very well equipped in terms of academia, in terms of their wisdom, in terms of their knowledge. They're very well equipped
Absolutely.
with that. But with the interactions that they have with people, they have a lot to grow in the next 3-4 years. They will definitely grow.
Okay. So, Bhaiya, if you see the present generation, then there are a lot of negative influences as well. And mental health is an optimistic central dimension where everybody lacks in the present generation. I mean, you have a lot of professionalism, you have a huge pursuing career, but still you lack in mental health. So, how do you see Sunbeam as a group or an institution fostering mental health as a primary subject?
I mean, that's exactly what I was talking about. Like, when I was talking about these kids that are still in 8th, 9th, and how their interactions have been shaped, it's mostly because of the influence of modern digital media. Because they are more involved in communicating over digital media instead of communicating physically or live with people. Because that's what really shapes you as a person, and they haven't yet indulged into that. So, Sunbeam really helps with this, because I remember that I used to have desensitization classes and a lot more. I can't really remember the name for that, but there were a lot of classes that helped you grow mentally and resolve personal issues, resolve issues that you've had with your career. Like if you are having trouble choosing your field of profession, if you're having trouble with academics, if you're having trouble with friends. I remember Neha ma'am was one person that really helped me with this. So I feel like Sunbeam really, as an institution, helps you in clarifying your doubts, getting some resolve on your own mental health.
Okay, absolutely, Bhaiya. It's all about that. How the ecosystem fosters a child, the overall development that we see and expect from an institution. That is, I think, the primary focus of the Sunbeam Group of Educational Institutions. So, Bhaiya, it's almost time. What's that one advice that you'd like to give to our audience that are viewing this podcast today?
Okay, I am not really a person that you should be asking for advice, because I've needed a lot of myself over the years. But one piece of advice that I would give is the same that I've repeated over and over again: is open yourself up to new experiences. Never be shy about trying something new, because I jumped into sports, into debating, quizzing. Try everything out, see what fits you best, and never let opinions of other people stop you from doing what you want to try. And also be open to their opinions of encouraging you to try new things as well.
Thank you so much, Bhaiya. It was so lovely, encouraging, and inspirational talking to you. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end of this podcast session with our very own, the very seniors. I must say, our super senior, Master Amitaanshu Midha. So, with that, I rest as the podcast moderator of the day. I, Govind Keshri, officially signs off. Thank you. Jai Hind.